You'll never be able to expand your business in a huge degree, if that's really what your goal is, unless you bring someone else on. You just can't do it. There are not enough hours in the day.
Unlock possibilities by changing your mindset. You will expand what's possible for you, for the ones around you, for the world. You're moving into a land of both blind spots and learning, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the mindset zone. Join your guide, Anna Melikian, founder of Solo Biz Academy, the director of education for Book Yourself Solid, and a PhD in psychology.
The show you are about to listen is backed by popular demand from the Mindset Zone archive vault. To get all new episodes, make sure you subscribe via your favorite podcast app and visit mindset.zone. Yes, instead of .com, it's .zone. There you can find the episode archive, show notes, and other amazing resources, including how to 4 times your success so you can work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your talents to make a bigger impact while enjoying the process. All at mindset.zone. Hi, Anna Melikian here, and in this episode, I have the pleasure to interview Monique Welsh, and Monique is a productivity expert and the founder of Making Productivity Easy. She's really an amazing and accomplished woman, and she loves to coach women entrepreneurs who want their business to support their ideal lifestyles. And she also writes regularly to the Huffington Post. So let's go to the interview now. How are you from Paris?
I am doing fine in Paris. How are you, Anna?
I'm doing good from Phoenix, Arizona. It's amazing how we can be in different places and be here like sitting, having a coffee together.
I know. Isn't it wonderful?
It is, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation because I read your articles in the Huffington Post. The ones you write a lot in the Huffington Post, but I'm referring especially to the ones that you wrote regarding, you did several interviews with the experts, and then you did like kind of think and go rich type expose in 3 very nice articles that you speak a lot about the productivity mindset shifts that happens for the solopreneur to be able to survive that startup phase and grow to their business to 6 or 7 figures. And it's there that I would like to focus our conversation. And my first question is, because you are a productivity expert, between other expertise that you have, tell me a little bit how you define productivity.
Okay, well, my definition of productivity has actually evolved over the years that I've been working in this field, and my current definition is actually the following. It's knowing what matters and getting it done. Okay, knowing what matters and getting it done. So like 2 phases. Yes, 2 phases. And the knowing what matters part is the most recent addition to my definition of productivity. And I say recent, but it's been a couple of years. But when I first started working in this arena, I was really focused on the getting it done part. You know, being productive means that you get things done and you get things done well and you get things done quickly. And that's all very valid. There is nothing false or wrong about that. But the piece that was missing is that if you're doing things that don't really matter, then I believe that you're not being productive.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about getting things done, we sort of make an assumption that we know what matters. But I found over the course of years that a lot of people really actually don't know what matters. And they just concentrate on making this list and scratching things off or doing things that keep them busy, but that really don't have any impact on their bottom line. They don't have any impact on what they actually want to accomplish. And so the knowing what matters part is really the most important part.
And this is really so relevant for me because it was one of my turning points in my life and in my business to realize that. Because I'm a person that I call myself a workaholic because I really love what I do, and I love being learning new stuff and all that. So it's very easy for me to focus and to go over things, but it's very easy also to fall in that business. It's just be busy for being busy.
Yeah.
And I always, during a lot of time of my life, I thought, okay, I was being productive because I was doing things. I was not like looking to the walls. I was doing loads of stuff. But we have to be able to, when we distance, are we walking in the right direction? Are we really walking or being just in the treadmill?
Yeah.
And that is where that part that you are saying, knowing what matters, what is really important, is really like an essential element that I didn't have it very clear until recently. And it's interesting that you start first also in the productivity by getting things done. And then you add this new element, knowing what matters. And tell me how this did change for you and for your clients.
Well, it really changed for me because I have a sort of a unique story. I am running 3 businesses simultaneously. And in addition to that, I'm the president of a small French nonprofit organization that focuses on preserving and promoting the legacy of a painter, an American painter who died in Paris in 1979. And so there are all of these things, and they're all fairly distinct, you know, going all the time in different directions depending on which business I'm working in. The things that I'm doing have nothing to do with anything else that in any of the other businesses. And so yet and still, I only have the 24 hours in a day, right?
So you have to organize your time and very well.
I really, really do. And so I have to prioritize things and make sure that I'm doing what matters on even a greater scale than most people do. And several years ago, I was of the mind that I needed to make all of these businesses, all of these activities go forward at the same pace and with the same amount of effort and with the same amount of success. I expected all of them to be successful. I expected that I should be able to do everything in all of them all the time, you know, no distinctions among them. They were all supposed to advance at the same rate at the same time. And it took a health scare to really wake up, for me to really wake up and say, this is insanity. Actually, it's pure insanity. There is no way. I mean, even with one business, you know, it's really hard to make sure that you're doing the most important things every day. And when you have 4.
Yeah. And how did you manage? Because you decide not, because some people in that situation would say, okay, I have to let go one of my business, or I have to just focus in one. But seems that your decision was, no, I'm going to keep with these businesses. I'm just going to deal with them in a different way. Can you tell us about it?
Exactly. So the thing is that one of my businesses is really the economic driver for the household. Okay. The other businesses are passion. I have passion for them. They all really fall into areas of genius for me, if you will. So there's not a lot of effort involved in acting in any of these businesses. However, I have to make decisions about what's going to be the most important thing for me to do on any given day based upon time. Mm-hmm. When I say time, I mean deadline. So, for example, if I have accepted a client in one of the business activities that is not the big economic driver, still I have to honor that time commitment. And so the big business, whatever I needed to do at that present time for that big business, will have to be put aside until I can deliver what I need to do, because there's a time constraint.
Mm-hmm. But you cannot leave the big business too much aside, because then you start to see the income go down.
Exactly. And so it's a question of looking at everything in all of these areas and saying, what is the most important thing for me to do today? Mm-hmm. And how do I decide what is the most important thing to do today?
And this reminds me, I'm focusing one business, but I'm going to be amplifying a little bit my focus, because I work mainly with self-employed professionals. It's the focus of my business at this moment. And I want to, with my podcast that is about mindset, and in the future, I want to position myself more around the mindset arena. And I think this is the situation of many solo entrepreneurs. Maybe we don't have different businesses, but we have different projects in our businesses, and some important projects. And there is loads of that that we have to learn about how to balance our time for these different businesses or these different projects. And I love, because I was listening to some of your interviews and reading some of your material, and you have a great definition of balance. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, absolutely. And I love this. I'm glad that you brought this up. So most people think about balance. When they hear the word balance, they think they have a vision of this balance scale, the one with the little, the rod in the middle, and then the rod that goes over the top, and then the little two pans on the side. Yeah,
the classical balance that we see the justice with it is like the ones that in the old times they had in the pharmacy. That's very, you put the weights, you put everything, and there has to be everything very quiet, very stable.
Yes, exactly. This is the definition that I want people to throw away. Because while it is a valid definition of balance, it's only valid for certain aspects of our existence. It is not a valid, for me, it's not a valid definition of balance for our lives. Okay? And so the definition that I like to put forth for balance is the power or means to decide. And this is a definition that is actually in the dictionary, so it's not some fantasy that I've, created. It is a true definition of balance, and it is the one that I find to be the most empowering, empowering, and really the most useful for us on a day-to-day basis.
So repeat the definition again.
Balance is the power or means to decide.
Balance is the power or means to decide. Okay, follow.
Right.
Beautiful.
And so when you embrace the fact, and it is a fact, that you can decide at any given moment of your day what you're going to do, all right, then you are the embodiment of balance. Because you can decide at this moment, I am going to do X, and I'm going to do X because. I'm going to do X because it feels good to me. I'm going to do X because if I don't do X, then Y is going to happen. And you can take any number of criteria into consideration when you make this decision. And that is the best decision at that moment.
Yeah. So it's a little bit like we could be like standing very, very still in one position. That will be like the classical balance definition. So like the mime in a park that they are frozen.
Yes.
Or we can decide for every step that we take where we are going to go, or if we are going in the direction that we set our minds in going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the reference that you make to setting yourself, I like to evoke the vision of walking versus standing still. So when we're standing still, we're straight up normally. We're balanced, yes, but we're not going anywhere. All right. So that vision of standing still, both feet firmly planted on the ground, is the equivalent of that balanced scale. But when we think about walking, we're putting one foot in front of the other. We're still balanced. We're upright. Okay. We're not falling over, but we have all of our weight on one foot at a given moment. And then we put the weight on another foot on the next moment. We're still balanced. And we know, but we're moving.
And we know that we have to keep that back and forward. Otherwise, we'll be hopping. Taking the analogy to the extreme, but it's not. It's like it's that dynamic process. And for me, I love metaphors, and I love this particular image because, there is I think nobody wants to be still, in that sense of stillness without going anywhere. And the interesting thing for me is that, and that is what comes the image of the mime for me, is that if we really try to be very, very still, is a hard work. We are spending energy to.
It really is.
So it's better to use that energy to go where we want to go. And speaking about that, and going back to the articles that you wrote in the Huffington Post, because it's this movement that so many people are trying when they start their own businesses, mainly as service professionals. And I want your perspective in terms of productivity mindset shifts that people have to go through, because when somebody, they are in a job, or they are fired from the job, or they leave the corporation with a good package, whatever is the circumstances, and they finally are in that situation, now I'm going to do what I always wanted to do, and I'm going to be my own boss. So they become solopreneurs, and they start their own businesses. And there is that first couple of years from the startup to the high five figures, I think is one of the hardest time in a business, because so many people don't manage to walk that from the startup to the high five figures. What are the things that, if you are working with a startup in that stage, you advise them to think differently in terms of their productivity?
Okay. Well, there are a few things. I think the crux of the matter is the most important thing is to have clarity. To have clarity about where you're going in your business, what your business is all about, what you want to accomplish in your business, and where you want your business to take you. Not only in the sense of what you want to provide to your clients, but also what you want your business to do for you. And this is the biggest thing that I think people forget about. They are so focused on their clients, they're so focused on what they're going to deliver, that they forget that the reason that they're in business, one of the reasons anyway, is to earn money, to provide a livelihood for themselves, for their family, and to enjoy being alive, and to enjoy the whole process. If you're slaving, even if your clients are benefiting from it, but you yourself are suffering, you're not going to get joy out of your business. Your business is going to become an anchor around your neck. It's going to become a burden for you. And
that is so typical to happen, that people leave the corporation because they want to be their own bosses, and then they become their worst bosses ever. Yes. They become their worst nightmare. And again, I think we go back here to the core of productivity, your definition of productivity, because I think what is lost here is knowing what's matter, what is really important, where they want to go. So when you work with somebody and you help them to have not just, because we understand they are starting up, they have to create revenue. The main worry is where I'm going to get clients, enroll new clients. That is the priority, because if the business doesn't have cash flow, they cannot sustain it open. We understand that, but how in that busyness of getting the clients can you help them to start to see the big picture too?
Well, I think for one thing, if you're so worried about getting clients, you're going to start to make decisions that maybe are not the best with regard to the clients that you're serving. So you're going to start to compromise with regard to who you're reaching out to, which could mean that you're diluting your message. It could mean that you're diluting your you're expending energy in areas where it would be better not expended, which means that you're depleting yourself and you're not getting the return that you would really want.
So it's almost like we have a marathon to run and we spend all our energy in the first mile.
Right, exactly. So I know it's very difficult. I have been there. Believe me, I know it's very difficult when you're starting out to say, I'm not going to take that client because that client really does not fit my criteria, or I have this client. It was a mistake to take this client on, so I'm going to get rid of this client, even if they're paying me.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the energy drain on you really takes such a toll. It takes such a toll.
This is totally in sync with I'm a Book Yourself Solid coach. And is the model that I help people to implement in their business. And one of the principles is that there are people we are meant to serve and others not so much.
Yeah.
And one of the decisions that we have to take first is that clarity about who are the people that we are meant to serve, who are our ideal clients, the people with whom we do our best work. And then make the decision, I want my business to serve these people. And I'm going to find ones in a target market that can afford my service, of course, but recognizing that we cannot help everybody, and there will be people out there that can be wonderful people, but are not the right fit for us and our businesses.
Exactly.
And that realization, we call it in the Book Yourself Solid system, the red velvet rope policy. You have to have a red velvet rope policy to decide who are you letting into your business. That is so, like you're describing, that is so liberating and really is a turning point. It takes some mindset shift for the person to see, to believe and to really give that step. But then when they do it, is what you are describing, relief or letting some clients go that were draining their energy. And then trusting the process and start to see things changing is really transformational. And I think it's only when people embrace who they are, their personal brand, and that they are meant to serve a certain group of people, that their business really start to grow and start to go from the second phase, that is from the 5 figures to the 6 figures and beyond if they decide to do that. So now I would like to focus in that next level. Because that first level is a lot about the goal of getting new clients, and we have to help people to see that wider perspective, but it's still a lot one-person business by many restraints, one-person business, and that person wearing many hats, doing everything. But again, they can make it and having a successful practice. But if they want to grow, and I think this is a decision, because some people, they want to have their own one-person practice, and that is their sweet spot.
Yeah.
But other people, the ones that want to grow beyond that, they cannot do it alone, in my opinion. Do you agree that?
I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree. And the decision is totally individual. So there's a lot of pressure out there, to grow your business this way and to make such and such amount of money and this and that. Really, you have to listen to your heart. You have to listen to your intuition, and you have to make the decision on how you want your business to evolve based on your innermost desires, your innermost values. If you decide that you want to grow a business to 6 figures and beyond, and 6 figures is a sort of an arbitrary magic number,
Yes.
quote unquote, but I think it's been chosen, it's been bantied about because relatively few people actually ever reach that threshold.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of like, the sort of a shining, the shining goal out in the distance there. It's sort of there for you to aspire to. And if you really want that, then I think one of the things that you must decide that you're going to do is to bring on people. That does not necessarily mean that you have to have a physical employee that comes to your place and every day and that kind of thing. But you need to create a team.
Yeah.
And the team does not have to be enormous either. It can be 1 or 2 or 3 additional people that are helping you in various critical aspects of your business. But that's what needs to happen.
And is that learning, and that is the mindset shift in terms of productivity, learning to delegate.
Yes.
And that sometimes can be very difficult because what was make us good in that first step of startup to the high 5 figures was doing everything and be able to coordinate and deciding what was important and then getting things done. And we were able to that. And then suddenly we rise to a plateau, and the only way to go above that plateau is to change totally the way that we do things, because we have to realize that getting things done cannot be us doing everything ourselves.
Right. And it's very hard, I know, for a lot of people because we, first of all, we feel like we've accomplished something because we've gotten so far and we've got everything just right, quote unquote, and everything is running fairly smoothly. And now we're going to mix it all up.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in these wild cards, which are these new people who, don't know us. They don't know our clients. They don't know our business. And can they really do it as well as I can? And all of these types of things run through our head. But, it's really something that we need to sit down and just deal with, because the fact of the matter is you will never, ever be able to you'll never be able to expand your business in a huge degree, if that's really what your goal is, unless you bring someone else on. You just can't do it. There are not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, and this again, we go back to your definition of productivity, knowing what is really important, what matters for us, and what is our goals, what we want to provide to others, and what is the business that we want to create for ourselves,
right?
And then how to get things done in the more effective way. Exactly.
And the lifestyle part of it is really, really so important. We tend to, going back to that vision of the balance scale, when we say work-life balance, I'm sure that the picture that comes to 99% of the people's minds is work is on one side and life is on the other. And in fact, work and life are intricately intertwined. In fact, work is not separate than life. Work is part of life. Okay. And so we need to, when we sit down and we think, okay, I'm going to bring on a team. And the team sounds scary. I think team, people think of it's got to be 8 or 9 people. Team could be 1 or 2 people. Really. 1 or 2 people to help you in crucial areas of your business where you, even if you can do something, if you can do it, if another person rather can do it less expensively, or if another person can do it more efficiently, okay, those are 2 very good reasons to let that task go.
Yeah.
And you do manage it. It's not like you let them go off and just do whatever. You do manage it, but it's not on your daily or weekly list of things to do. It frees up your time to do something that is more valuable. And that more valuable thing could be something else in your business, or it could be something else in your personal life.
Yeah. And this reminds me, I was trying to find here a quote that I love, is I think an African saying that alone you can go faster, but with a group you can go farther.
Yes. Yes, that's not mine, but yeah, I do know that quote, yes.
And I will put this in the show notes, the exact quote. I will find it and put it there, because I think it's one of the things that we have to really, when we work with a team, when we decide to make that transition to make our goal bigger, we have to learn to say, okay, I cannot do everything, because when it's ourselves, okay, we burn another hour to our sleep and we do it, and it's quick. We decide we do it, is done. But there is a limit that we can do. And then if we start to work with a team, yes, will take longer sometimes, the coordination and to do. But if we know what is the important things, what are our goals, we have clarity there, what's matter is in our guiding light, we can go much farther and help many more people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm aware of the time, and I just want to tell people how they can know more about you and where they can go to find more information about your work.
Okay, well, the best place to find out information about me and what I do is my website, which is called makingproductivityeasy.com. Again, that's makingproductivityeasy.com. And if you go to that URL on the home page there is actually there's an opt-in box there for a questionnaire, which is quite simple. I don't want people to be afraid of the name of the questionnaire. It's called the Self-Made Woman Millionaire Lifestyle Quiz. But really what it's about is, does your business support your ideal lifestyle? And this applies whether you're a millionaire, a self-made millionaire, or not. And if you want to be a self-made woman millionaire, then I would advise you to take this quiz now so that you can make the pathway to your millionaire status easier. Really, all it does, it's very, very simple, and it does not take very long to fill out at all. All it does is to ask you to think about 7 different aspects of your life, to rank them as according to what you ideally would like for them to be, and then to look at them and look at where they fit in your life currently. So then you can see what the gap is between the two. And then just ask yourself the following question: what are you going to do to get those 2 lists into better alignment? And all you need to do is to start with one thing. One thing, baby steps. Yeah,
because like you said in the beginning, we cannot try to do all at once.
Right.
But we can decide what I'm going to focus now and move that one, and then start to keep that balance between the different things. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you. And really great to have you here.
I really appreciate you asking me to be on. It was a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And as always, I would love to hear your thoughts about this. And remember, you can access to the show notes of this episode at mindset.zone/40, or to keep it simple, just go to mindset.zone/info. There you can listen to every episode of this podcast, access the show notes, learn how to subscribe this podcast via iTunes, join the Mindset Zone community in Facebook, and of course, email me. And even to get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial of audible.com. If you are not familiar with audible.com, check this service out. It's an amazing way of listening to audiobooks on demand. So mindset.zone/info, it's the place to go. Grateful that you cross over into the mindset zone. Expand what's possible for you, for the ones around you, for the world. Thank you for listening. And remember to visit mindset.zone. Yes, instead of .com is .zone. There you can find all the episodes and other amazing resources. As always, I'm so grateful that you have crossed over into the mindset zone. Expand what's possible for you, for the ones around you, for the world.